Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Daybreak
Wrestling.
I am Jay, accompanied always by my good friends Hip
and L.
Man, look, we got some breaking news today. WWE has just released a bunch of people due to the budget cuts that we are unfortunately getting. It seems on a quarterly or bi-quarterly period.
Right.
Frequent.
Yeah, a little too frequently for me. I hadn't get off in the last budget cuts when they had let go of Dolph Ziggler. Man, that was a rough one, but here we are once again with more budget cuts. The Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville from Pure Fusion Collective, Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci, and the Good Brothers Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have all been released from the WWE. Now, some of these are shocking to me. Some of which I could expect, but the ones that stick out to me, obviously, from the beginning is Blair Davenport. I feel like she never got a fair shake on the main roster. I feel as though it was kind of an unfortunate circumstance that she was called up and she had a hard time getting over with the audience, and it inevitably led to her release. And it was cool to me because she wasn't so conventional. You know, she wasn't like Tiffy, you know, that had, like, again, we said she had the look before. She brought something different, I feel like, to the women's division, especially in appearance and function. And it's a shame to see her go, because you don't want to see anyone lose their job. You don't want to see anyone get released from work. It just creates a circumstance or a situation where people feel like they have to walk on eggshells, you know. And if you're not over with the audience, they're like, not WWE's merged and they're not a private company any longer. They can let go of who they see fit.
Yeah.
Or whoever cuts into the money, you know.
Yes,
if merch isn't selling, if audiences aren't willing to see, if tickets aren't going out the door, then they're not going to have much reason to keep you.
At the end of the day, it's a business.
It's a business, man.
It is a business, a public-owned business at that point now.
Yeah, it's a business, man. So, thank you so much to those guys for your WWE tenure. We're grateful for you for competing, and we're grateful to have watched you. And we look forward to where your journey takes you from this point forward. But guys, I want to just spin the wheels and stop the mourning for a second. And just say, what does this mean for not just the roster, but what does this mean for the people backstage that we don't see? Like, you know, we've seen people getting fired from the cast and crew. We've seen people getting fired at the executive level. We've seen superstars getting released on a consistent basis. You know, the company's always molding, it's always changing, but it can't be for the better in every occasion. Right?
Well, usually in cases like this, I think it's just a case of over budgeting, you know, considering that they're now they're more of an open-ended company. They have to impress their shareholders, and with those investments, they want to spend the least amount of money to make the most amount of profit. So unfortunately, those 10 people just got hit at a very awkward time, and you know, you can really feel that. And considering that some of them were also on TV just not even like more than a week or two ago, you know, it definitely, I feel like a lot of people in the locker room could be pretty worried or concerned about their positions right now. Like, am I not doing enough? Do the fans not love me enough? What can I do for my career? You know, but, you know, there's also, like, the live shows that we don't see on TV. And there's also WWE Speed, which is on every Wednesday on Twitter, X, whatever. I feel like there's plenty of WWE pot to go around for everyone. But I can understand why, as a business, you know, they just want to work with what they have. You use what's popular.
Correct. I want to take a different take on this. I understand that it's a business and that guys basically lose their jobs, but this doesn't mean that this is the end. We've seen plenty of guys that's gotten fired and then they came back better than ever. And basically, I believe that like look at guys like Cody Rhodes. I know that's a huge example.
Yeah.
Yes. But he reinvented himself, and now he's the face of the company for years to come.
Yeah.
At this point,
I think it creates, or at least from what I can see, they had to create a new version of themselves, which they can then appeal to a wider market. I think the unfortunate reality is that on NXT, there's not enough feedback. You know, like people come from NXT like Mello, people like Blair Davenport, people like Lyra Valkyria. You have to have something more to appease a large audience, because in NXT they're in the same city, you know, at the Performance Center, and they're in front of very, very small crowds. But a lot of these characters don't survive outside of that niche bubble. Yeah. And I think Blair Davenport just is an unfortunate example of someone who was not as prime and ready as we would have liked them to be, that had got caught in with the Sharks, unfortunately. And now she was released because people didn't, I guess, get behind her. Or
I didn't think she had a compelling storyline to begin with, just to come up to the main roster. I didn't.
I feel like there was more she could have done at NXT.
Yeah.
It was premature.
Yeah, she definitely felt like an experimental pick that they just wanted to see if she could flourish, but in my opinion, it was probably a bit too soon. Yeah.
Honestly, it's a name that we haven't seen in a while, and who also came up around the same time, Kiana James, if you remember. She hasn't been doing anything either. So hopefully she doesn't meet the same fate.
Yeah, I've heard news about her recently.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember what it was about, but her name has come up recently, in the past couple months. I hope wherever she is, she's okay. I hope she's not suffering with an injury or condition or anything right now.
Right.
I know W keeps these things on the hush hush when people get hurt or
go through things.
Going through things,
Yeah. Got to remember that these are all people at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like to keep a lot of that person stuff out of the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to read about just to make sure people are okay, but sometimes it's not our business. We're just fans, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep that private like private.
Yeah, that's what I recommend. But man, I think some of these are justifiable for sure.
What do you think about Sonya Deville, man? Like, she's been with the company for like a decade at this point.
It's been a long time.
A while.
And she just got back from injury. She was out since 2022, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
And she got back from injury. But I felt like the Pure Fusion Collective was dead, you know, before it even started.
Dead the rights.
Yeah, before it even started. Like, I hate to break it to a lot of the people who might like those guys or people who feel it's an unjustified decision. But in my opinion, when Raw came on, they were the thing I wanted to see the least. I don't feel as though Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler have chemistry with one another. I don't think their charisma is there at all. And it just felt like a group of tough people rather than a collective of people I'd be interested in seeing. Because WWE is built on characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you put 3 stoic people into a faction with one another, it's hard to get behind that group. And I feel as though they really suffer from that. Because, yeah, they had a strong showing in the Rumble, right? But then no one cared. No one cheered. No one booed, really.
That's the thing. It was never a problem about their performance. They always perform well in the ring. Zoe Stark is amazing in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shayna Baszler, she's very solid. She has her moments. And Sonya's a pretty safe worker. And, like, that was never the issue. The issue, like you said before, the charisma, their character building, it's never really been... Even though Sonya, I did like when she was an official. I think that was some of her best work.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they could have went back to that, but of course they can't keep
right?
the storyline going, especially if they have Adam Pearce
and Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't really need officials anymore because now we have general managers. So.
And it sucks to. I'm not gonna lie, man. It sucks to see this because I really did want them to succeed, like to succeed.
Yeah, of course. Don't want nobody to fail.
Who do you want? Why do you want people to fail? You know,
like I had a lot of faith in Zoe Stark when she was coming up.
You did
from injury.
You did. I know we did. DB Dub wasn't up at the time, but Elle had a lot of faith in Zoe Stark as an up and comer. I think when she first got drafted to Raw.
And I've been a Shayna Baszler fan for a long time. Yeah. Like, it kind of sucks that I kind of have to see her not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see the Sonya and Zoe releases, you know?
Yeah.
Because I want them to fall behind. Shayna and Zoe releases. Cause I don't want them to fall behind Sonya.
But it may be for the best. Like, maybe go to the indie scene, reinvent yourself, come back stronger than ever.
Yeah. I don't know where they could go from here. But that's not for me to know. You know, that's for me to just watch and be surprised by what by their genius.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, the Good Brothers being gone means that the OC is completely scrapped, which I think is for the best.
And they weren't really doing much.
No, I feel like they could have.
Those guys were gone in Japan a lot.
Yeah,
they were.
But I feel like they could have, been something bigger than what we got.
AJ got hurt too.
Yeah. But even before that, like when they come back in 2022 and like late 2022, and then they had
early 23.
Then they had Michin join, I believe.
It was around that. It was around that time.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, and I think they had like 2 or 3 matches together, and it's just never.
The group didn't really get the chance to flourish, and it. Like the moment they got together, AJ gets hurt, so they tried to hold the fort down, and
it did not work.
It did not work.
I think that's super unfortunate. But I'm glad Michin found her footing, at least for the most part, and I'm also glad that AJ is back and he's moving to Raw.
Honestly, the way Michin's been able to bounce back from all that, like I'm proud of the girl.
Yeah,
but it took a while though. Like,
it did
took
take
a lot
while.
of work, and I'm not gonna lie, the help of Chelsea Green. It really did.
Yeah,
that dumpster match. It really helped her.
It really helped Michin stock.
Yeah.
I feel like. So, if we think about it for just a moment, I would say that, it sucks that they're gone. They lost their jobs, but you guys think WWE's always looking for the next talent. The next person to bring up. We got some people in NXT that's ready to hit the main roster. So many people coming up from the future legends.
From TNA.
Yeah, and TNA even. We gotta make room for people like Jordan Grace, and when she's ready to finally,
Roxanne Perez
when she's ready to move up.
Definitely Roxanne.
We got a lot of people that we're looking to elevate. It just sucks that people have to lose their jobs for that to work.
Yeah.
But if wrestling's as huge as it's ever been right now, there's so many MLW, NJPW, AEW, TNA. There's so many places you could go if you're looking to have a fresh start in your career. And it could work in your favor. It could take some time. But I think it's a journey worth taking. Because WWE doesn't see the value in you. You need to make them see the value in you. Or you need to make the people see the value in you. Because WWE follows the money. Mm-hmm. And they follow the crowd.
Yeah.
If the crowd is not behind you, that's the end all be all, really. It's not where the company sees it. It's not whether the guy at Gorilla sees it. It's not about if you see it. It's about if the crowd sees it.
Yeah.
And if they don't see it, then it's just not going to work, man.
And this is why Jey Uso works he has a lot of detractors on X. A lot of people say that he's not good. He shouldn't be in his position, but the crowd really chooses.
He's loved.
Yeah,
he's loved.
He's loved, man.
The merch chooses.
Yeah,
the merch chooses.
It does. The crowd chooses.
The yeet chooses.
The money chooses, man.
Bro had a encore for his theme song. I think that's like the first time I've ever seen something like that in WWE.
No, I agree. I'm just glad that we got to experience them while they were here, and I look forward to seeing what they do next. And I said that some of those did shock me. Some really shocked me, like Giovanni Vinci getting released.
I thought we were gonna get like a whole Italian Stallion thing going.
With him, yeah. Like
we
had the packages build up, and then he comes in and he gets squashed. And then he gets
we
fired.
never see him again.
He gets
Yeah,
fired.
then he was never seen
I think
again.
He was cited in the back with Mello one time during a segment with I believe Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, like he was talking with Mello.
Yeah, but after that he was gone.
Not to make light of the situation, it's the Apollo Crews curse.
Yeah,
Apollo Crews
he
curse.
lost the match to Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Now he lost his career. And I feel as though splitting him from Imperium just didn't make sense. Really, I feel like that he found some new life there. He went from the guy that didn't talk to the guy that Ludwig Kaiser had to babysit. Mm-hmm. And like when he did speak, I feel like he got a decent reaction.
Yeah.
But then they completely dumped him from the group.
But the thing is, they're not really a group anymore. Like, yeah, Ludwig still kind of
reps the name,
but not really.
No.
They're kind of doing their own
thing. They're both single stars at this point.
And Giovanni just got the bad end of the stick.
He did.
Yeah. Like Ludwig is doing his own thing so much. Like sometimes you.
Like I'm sure anyone who was a fan of Giovanni Vinci, no one hates what happened more than him. You know.
Right.
So I'm not going to speak too ill on what his career trajectory was while he was here. I'm just grateful that we got to see it.
Right.
But I think a lot of the reason why the crowd got behind guys like them was because of one who was announcing them at the time, and two, how the character was at the time. Like, I believe they're still trying to chase that Samantha Irving
energy. Yeah.
Like even with Chelsea Green, they added to her theme song.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not as crisp.
No, it's not. Alicia Taylor is a fantastic announcer, but she's not as at least openly energetic as Samantha was. You know.
Yeah. Well, I would say that her energy comes more from just like how she's able like to really dig deep in like her core and like bring out fantastic. A character's name. I feel like we don't need to do what Samantha did, respectfully, because like Samantha was great.
She did what she did, and it was her work.
Yeah, but that's her work. That's her announcing. We don't need everyone to follow in her footsteps.
Yeah, most things I saw about Giovanni Vinci was how she announced Giovanni Vinci. Exactly, like it gave him a lot of cachet with the audience.
She put her whole soul into that job.
She did.
I miss her every day.
I do miss her. She was fantastic.
Even though I do love Lillian Garcia, I'm glad she's a legend. She's back.
Yeah. But they treated Samantha so poorly online, and I hope it didn't get to her. You know what I'm saying? But man, she was really good at what she did, and I think her elevating those guys in just that small way, like
it meant a lot.
It meant a lot to the audience because an announcer can mean a lot to a superstar, and just those small little details really sell the story. And I think Giovanni Vinci had a lot of story to sell. He just didn't get to tell it. You know, people are going to point fingers at Triple Chiefs. They're going to point, you messed up, you screwed up, you messed up. And maybe he did screw up. Maybe he didn't have as much of a plan for Giovanni Vinci as he thought he did. But at the end of the day, it's a company. Yeah, and it's not, he's a content creator. It's over him to decide who's getting cut. You know, I don't think he just decides who he does and doesn't like and gets them out of here. You know,
especially since one of the first things he did when he started running the company was to bring so many people back.
Yeah, whether he underutilized them or not is a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Because granted, everything he does is great, but I think it's consistent. And when he screws up, I will address it. Mm-hmm. But in this particular case, I would say, yeah, maybe he did screw up with Giovanni Vinci. But maybe it was more so Giovanni Vinci wasn't as popular as Ludwig and Gunther because, you know, they're going to be compared, you know, as a group because as Imperium was. And maybe he was getting more sales under the Imperium name than he was by himself. And yeah, that happens,
makes
right?
Sense.
That happens.
That makes sense.
But I think he should have got a chance to prove that he was capable of doing it. And I look forward to seeing what he does next.
But sometimes that's not the way it goes.
No.
Nope. But there's always another way to tell your story.
Yeah. I just want to just address it, you know, as much as possible. At least give my take and opinion on it, because you hear people get released and it breaks your heart because you don't want people to lose their jobs.
Of course.
But you gotta look at the bright side. There's always more opportunity elsewhere. And that these guys' journey is not over just because they're not watching, because you're not watching the program they're not on the program that you're watching.
Right.
That's how I mean to put it.
Wrestling is bigger than it's ever been, whether it be indie or an official brand name.
Yeah, anything otherwise, you know. Like there's so many talented people like Jacob Fatu who came from a completely different MLW. You know, he worked the indie scene a long time, and he fits right into the WWE mold. You know, so like he knows his character. He's been building it a long time.
He's got the energy.
Some of these guys have not been building their characters in NXT as long as we think they would have. You know, or as long as they would have liked to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Blair, she got caught in like a bad spot. You remember she came from NXT UK.
Yeah.
And so it's a big transition. Yeah. It's different.
Yeah, much bigger from the WWE landscape. It's very different.
Yeah.
So I think what I want to see more of, at least in the future, is NXT talent molding their character to a complete level before they try to hit the main roster. I know some people feel like they're ready in the ring, and maybe you are. But if your character's not there, you'll be eaten alive. It's so much different than that small audience in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It could not be up to you. Like it could be.
They
need bodies. It could be that they feel like you're ready, but then they find out that you're not ready.
Right.
You gotta start backpedaling, hitting the brakes on you.
And then sometimes, like it all, like as we said earlier, it all depends on the crowd. Maybe the crowd just doesn't like you for any reason at all.
Yeah, there's no telling. You know, like I think that in the WWE audience, it's a very sink or swim environment.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you offer. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what the good things you've done are. It's a very what have you done for me recently audience.
Yeah.
And if I'm not popping when your music hits, I don't care whether or not you're popular or whether or not you worked this or that. If I don't pop, you're not engaged. I'm not engaged. And in a lot of qualities are put onto people who have titles.
Especially titles.
People who are in factions. People who have fantastic character work, which again is the end all be all. But sometimes your character work isn't just enough. You know? You never know. Yeah. I don't blame the fans. But you just never know.
It's a coin flip every time you go out there.
Yeah. It's that's why wrestling is such an authentic company, such an authentic business. There's so many people with different personalities and loud, boisterous personas that then have to go out there into a sea of people who are just looking to be entertained. And for every reason you're entertaining them, they will let you know.
Right.
Yep. Whether it be your character, your ring performance, mic skills, etc.
It can be down to your gear.
Yeah, even your appearance.
It can be down to the people you surround. So it can be your theme song. It can be how you're announced when you come down. Whatever it is, if they don't like it, they'll latch onto it, and it's what it is.
Yep, and then it's out of your hands.
It's out of your hands. So like, it's just best to be on top of the conversation. I think
the wrestling business is so different. It's one of the few businesses where you get instant feedback.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very immediate feedback, especially like when you perform as well. That's where the most feedback is.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean crowd reaction. Yeah, like if they're feeling you or not, they'll definitely let you know. Remember when Penta first showed up?
Oh yeah, no, they were feeling him.
Yeah, they felt him immediately.
Yeah, they felt him for sure. Like, but,
felt him so much that it made Master Gable upset.
Yeah, man. Like I think times like that are good, but you gotta remember Penta is coming from AEW.
He had time to develop.
He did. He had time to develop, and not only that,
he's been doing it for a long time.
WWE fans are looking for the next AEW acquisition. You know.
Yeah.
WWE wants to show, hey, if you come from AEW to WWE, you're gonna be treated nicely. You're gonna have quality matches. You're gonna have, they want people to look
it's
like.
It's almost like the opposite of what it was when you were coming from WWE to AEW a few years ago.
Yeah,
it's kind of how it was.
It's kind of how it was then. You leave WWE to AEW, they put you on a pedestal and they treat you like you wanted to be treated. I guess essentially in the previous company, but now of course it's a business. AEW is competition.
They are.
It is.
So they want to keep their superstars. Of course they do. I'm sure they don't want to just release people.
Of course. They need superstars to perform.
But when you have to release people, you have to be firm and you have to be decisive. And I feel as though some releases hurt more than others. But at the same time, some are necessary. Like, I don't think if Indy Hartwell wasn't released, Candace would be as available on television as she is now. Even if whether you like her or not is irrelevant. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, with Nia Jax, Candice LeRae is always on TV. She's always on the conversation. She always has a mic in her hand.
She gets crowd reaction.
Nia gets crowd reaction. And then I guess it rolls
by proxy.
By proxy, because she always asking for her opinion.
Yeah.
And people don't like it when she says anything.
Exactly. I think that then helps. And if Indy was not released, I don't think that would have happened.
It definitely probably wouldn't have put her in a position to be in an uncomfortable situation because she's not used to being around Nia. She's always been around Indy Hartwell. That's probably her best friend.
Yeah, they're the way.
Sure. Yeah, so it probably worked out for the best, even though sadly it cost Indy Hartwell her job.
Career.
Yeah,
that's.
I wouldn't say her career, just her job.
Her job.
Her current job.
Her job at WWE.
Yeah.
And it happens, but you had to make room for people. I don't know what Alba Fire is going to do now that Isla Dawn is gone either.
Maybe she can bring
something different.
Something like
bounce back.
We don't know.
We just have to see.
We don't know.
Maybe she up her game.
Yeah. I just hated to see those people get released,
Yeah.
But we want to take this time out to address that and to share our opinions on it. Seeing all those guys lose their jobs is something that we hate, but it's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
It's not a goodbye, but it's just a goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now. I like to see what these guys do, and Pip will be keeping up with them.
Yeah, of course.
And
if any of you are listening, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you
for your service to the WWE, and thank you for entertaining us. as long as you did, and we look forward to the road next time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the hell do we know? We just three guys with a microphone.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like on the road. I don't know what you're going through, but hey, thank you for entertaining me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. What are your takes and opinions on these recent releases? We love to discuss them in the comments with you. As always, I'm Jen.
I'm Pip.
And I'm L.
And this has been D.
B.
W.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in. Have a great one.
See you.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.